My wife swore she was working a night shift, but for some reason, her smart ring showed intense physical activity at 2:47 a.m. inside her ex-boyfriend's house. I was staring at my wife's sleep data at 3:14 in the morning when I realized there were two impossible things on my screen. The first one was simple. According to the ring, Emily's heart rate had been above 130 for almost 20 minutes. The second one made less sense. The ring showed her inside a house 40 miles away. My house. I remember the blue light from the tablet reflecting off the kitchen counter. The refrigerator hummed behind me. My coffee had gone cold an hour earlier. There was a bitter smell coming from it. Upstairs, I could hear floorboards shifting. Emily was home. I could hear her, but the ring said she wasn't. I looked at the stairs again. Then I looked back at the screen. The location dot wasn't moving. The pulse was still climbing. For a few seconds, I honestly thought I was watching somebody else's life. Then I noticed something else. The activity graph had started exactly 8 minutes after I heard my front door unlock. And suddenly I wasn't sure who was upstairs. Before all of that, things looked normal from the outside. Emily and I lived in a suburb outside Denver. Quiet streets. Similar houses. Similar lawns. Similar routines. I worked in commercial property insurance. Emily managed regional operations for a medical supply company. Long hours. Constant calls. Flights every few weeks. Nothing dramatic. No screaming fights. No obvious distance. Just small things. She started putting her phone face down. Started taking work calls outside. Started coming home tired in a way that felt rehearsed. Not physically tired. Emotionally unavailable. I couldn't explain it. Some nights we'd sit on opposite ends of the couch while the air conditioning pushed cold air through the living room vents. The television would play something neither of us watched. I kept feeling like I had walked into a conversation that had already ended. Then our anniversary came. I bought her the smart ring. Expensive one. Sleep tracking, stress monitoring, temperature sensors, location integration. I told her she'd been overworking herself lately. That part wasn't a lie. I synced it with my tablet while setting it up. That part I didn't mention. At the time it felt harmless. Helpful. Maybe dishonest. Not dangerous. The first strange thing happened 3 weeks later. Emily had a late-night operations meeting. I remember rain hitting the windows that night. Soft at first. Then heavier. I couldn't sleep. Around 1:40 a.m. I checked the app. Heart rate, 62. Stress level, low. Body temperature, normal. Then at exactly 2:07 a.m. everything changed. Pulse climbed to 118, then 126, then 132. The graph looked like stairs. Activity level spiked. Stress indicators surged. I stared at it for a while. Maybe anxiety attack, maybe emergency work issue. Then I checked location. Not downtown, not her office. A neighborhood outside the city. I zoomed in. Large properties. Private roads. Then I recognized the street. Ryan Keller lived there. Ryan was an old friend of hers. At least that was how he existed in my head. Just Ryan. I sat there listening to rainwater drip from the gutters. The tablet vibrated again. Activity increase. Heart rate, 136. I remember my stomach feeling hollow. Not pain. Just absence. Over the next month, I started noticing patterns. Late work nights. Same location. Same spikes. Sometimes after midnight. Sometimes after 2. Once I saw body temperature rise alongside elevated movement metrics. The app labeled it. Intense physical activity detected. I actually laughed when I read it. Not because it was funny. Because I suddenly felt embarrassed. Like technology was trying to protect me from understanding something obvious. Then I found a receipt in her car. Gas station. Near Ryan's neighborhood. Timestamp, 1:13 a.m. Then a parking garage ticket. Then deleted notifications visible on her lock screen for half a second before disappearing. The evidence kept stacking itself quietly, like someone building a wall around me one brick at a time. Eventually, I stopped pretending I didn't understand. Emily was having an affair. Everything fit. The location. The stress spikes. The secrecy. The exhaustion. Even Ryan suddenly made sense. I looked him up online. Divorced recently. Worked remotely. Large house. No kids. I started watching details. Backgrounds in photos. Reflections. Timestamps. One night, Emily posted a picture from a work dinner. There was glass behind her. In the reflection, I could see hanging lights. Wooden beams. Large windows. Not a restaurant. Ryan's living room matched it perfectly. I found an old real estate listing online. Same ceiling fan. Same windows. I felt stupid for missing it. The pieces had finally settled into place. I remember feeling almost relieved. At least reality had shape again. At least I wasn't imagining things. So I waited. Morning came after another late shift. Emily walked in looking exhausted. Hair slightly damp from mist outside. I could smell expensive perfume and cold air. I was drinking coffee in the kitchen. The tablet sat beside me. I turned the screen toward her. Heart rate charts. Location history. Activity logs. Everything. I expected panic. Guilt. Fear. Instead, I watched all the color leave her face. Not guilt. Something closer to confusion. Then fear arrived. Real fear. And suddenly nothing fit anymore. Emily wasn't denying Ryan. That was the first thing I noticed. She wasn't denying anything I expected her to deny. She kept staring at one specific location point. My house. Not Ryan's. My house. I remember the kitchen becoming very quiet. Even the refrigerator seemed louder. Emily sat down slowly. Her hands were shaking. Then she told me something I had never considered. Ryan had been helping her investigate me. I sat there waiting for the sentence to become normal. It didn't. Months earlier, Emily noticed purchases she couldn't explain. Small charges. Cash withdrawals. Storage unit payments. Nothing huge. Just enough to bother her. She thought someone stole our information. Then she found duplicate receipts. Same stores. Same days. Different times. I told her that made no sense. She apparently agreed. So she started tracking patterns. Ryan worked in cybersecurity before changing careers. He helped her review account activity, security logs, device locations, photos. Then came the thing that hollowed me out. She showed me a picture on her phone. My car. Parked somewhere I had never seen before. Timestamp. Tuesday, 2:11 p.m. I was supposedly at work. Then another photo. And another. Different days. Different places. I remember fluorescent lights buzzing above us in the kitchen. My skin felt cold. Because I didn't recognize any of it. Emily thought I was hiding another life. For months. She thought I was cheating. And suddenly every strange thing had another meaning. The distance. The secrecy. Ryan. None of it was about her hiding something. She thought I was. Then I remembered the nights. The missing hours. Moments I couldn't place. Tiny gaps I ignored. Driving home without remembering the route. Finding coffee cups I didn't buy. Receipts in jacket pockets. I had blamed stress. Long work weeks. Normal things. Now I wasn't sure. We spent the next week pulling everything apart. Phone backups. Credit card histories. Location records. Security footage. Everything. Then we found it. The storage unit. The payments Emily discovered. I don't remember driving there. I don't remember renting it. But my name was on the paperwork. Inside there wasn't another family. No hidden girlfriend. No second apartment. There were boxes. Files. Photos. Dozens of them. Pictures of Emily. Ryan. Neighbors. Coworkers. Schedules. Maps. Printed screenshots. Notes. Hundreds of notes. The air smelled like dust and cardboard. My hands were shaking while I flipped through pages. Then I found the notebooks. All written by me. Every page. Dates going back almost 2 years. Observations. Patterns. Suspicions. Evidence. I had convinced myself Emily was living a secret life. Every coincidence became proof. Every missing detail became betrayal. I had built an entire investigation around my own paranoia. The first twist was simple. Emily was never cheating. I was the one secretly watching everyone. Then I reached the last notebook. Last page. Last entry. 3 lines. Not handwritten recently. Written months earlier. I recognized my own handwriting immediately. I had left a note for myself. It said I finally knew Ryan wasn't helping Emily investigate me. Ryan had been helping me investigate Emily. Then beneath it, I had given her the ring because I wanted live data. And beneath that, don't tell her yet. I stared at it for a long time. Then I looked up at Emily. Because suddenly I couldn't remember which version of me had written it. I still don't know. I only know I bought the ring.